Conference that follows International Solidarity Conference on the Venezuelan refugee and migration crisis that just concluded its work. Three co-chairs, High Representative Vice President Federica Mogherini, UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi, and Director General of International Organization for Migration Antonio Vitorino will all say a few words very briefly since the event was public, and then we'll take a few of your questions. High Rep, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Maya. First of all, let me say that I was really honoured to host, together with the UNHCR and the IOM, this 2 days conference to mobilise global solidarity for Venezuelan refugees and migrants, with 120 delegations, obviously from European Union member states, Latin American countries, countries that are directly suffering the impact of the humanitarian crisis in Venezuela, but also international financial institutions, civil society, NGOs, private sector, countries from all around the world, from the Far East of Asia to the Gulf countries, to, first of all, clearly say that the Venezuelan crisis and its humanitarian impact needs to go back on top of the international agenda. And I believe that this conference today has been a success in this respect. We count obviously also on you to report about the mobilization that the global community has managed to put in place so far, and it's committed to do in the future. But also to send a strong message of solidarity to Venezuelans that are suffering for a crisis that is at the same time political, economic, social and humanitarian, and the host communities in the neighbouring countries, and not only in the neighbouring countries but in all Latin America, that are hosting impressive numbers of refugees and migrants as a result of this crisis. We have clearly said this was not a pledging conference, and yet there were commitments made during these 2 days that are good news. More or less 120 million euros were announced today as additional contributions from individual delegations, and that comes on top of the additional 30 million euros that European Union institutions are mobilising in these days. The European Union has been mobilising 320 million euros so far and is ready to do more. We have stressed that we don't only welcome and admire the hospitality, the open arms and open borders policy of the Latin American countries towards Venezuelan refugees and migrants, but also that we commit to supporting this policy. And this is more important than anything else. Because we know, especially we Europeans know how difficult it is, and we know that praising them is not enough. What is needed is concrete support, and this is why the conference today, I think, has been so important. We also expressed, and I will close with that, a strong support for the regional coordination mechanisms that Latin American countries have managed to put in place, in close coordination, obviously, with the UN agencies. There will be, in a couple of weeks' time, another meeting of the Quito process that we support collectively very much. That will be in Bogota. And we have also decided to establish somehow, as a form of support group, a group of friends of the Quito process, to mobilise international support to the regional response to this crisis. So I believe that both in terms of political, financial, technical support, this has been an important step to be continued, to be followed up. Obviously knowing that the real solution to this refugees and migrants crisis will be the political solution that will allow Venezuela to regain peacefully a democratic life. And you know that the European Union is working closely together with our partners in the region to try to achieve that result. But in the meantime, we cannot avoid giving an urgent response to the humanitarian situation that Venezuelans and the host communities are facing. And so this double track today, I think, has been successfully put in place. Let me finish by thanking, from the bottom of my heart, personally, both Filippo Grandi and Antonio Vitorino, because this conference has been possible thanks to the excellent cooperation between the three of us and our teams. And to me, this is the best example of how the European Union and the UN system managed to work together with effective results. And I want really to thank them for all the work, difficult work, they are doing together with their respective agencies and organizations. So thank you very much, and I
thank you, Filippo
pass to
Grandi.
you the floor.